Shantae, aka Shanteezy on Twitter and Instagram, or just simply just Shantae Berry. I am here with the weekday edition of my analysis. Almost tripped up on my words. I do my daily live every day, Monday through Friday. Sometimes I'll do a weekend edition, but I am here. Hey, Paul, but I do this live. So here you have it. I'm going to give you the numbers for COVID-19. And then I'm going to get into the election because there's not that many topics I'm going to talk about, but we have to cover COVID-19 because that's what's, impacting us still to this day. Hello. So that's what's impacting us. So global confirmed cases around the world as of today, November 2nd, 2020, according to the Johns Hopkins website, that's what I'm reading from. See, that's where I'm reading from. Is 46,801,621. That's the cases around the world in 189 countries. The global death toll is at 1,205,221. Yikes. U.S. confirmed cases, we at 9,284,966 cases of COVID-19. That's in the country. That's here at home. 9.2, almost 9.3. And the U.S. death toll is at 231,510. So we're over 230,000 deaths. And I believe I'm not sure how many new cases we have today, because you can always check on the New York Times COVID map, because that's another map I look at in terms of states. So as of yesterday, we had 74,000 new cases, almost 75,000 new cases as of yesterday. Not sure how much we had today. I'll know that tomorrow. But yesterday, we had over 74,000. We're in wave 3. I thought we was in wave 2, but we're in wave 3 of coronavirus. In terms of cases around our country, I'm going to just give you the first top 10 that according to our country. So, absolutely, he don't give a shit. But I'm going to read the number of cases to you. So we know Texas surpassed California with over 20,000 cases, more than them. So Texas have 964,000. Wagwan, Queen Lion. See, you think I didn't know. I live in New York City. There's a whole bunch of West Indian folks out here. Some of them guys be bagging me. But Wagwan, welcome to my live. So Texas have 964,762. California has 943,595. Florida, 812,055. New York, which, seeing rising cases, but we're number 4, but we still have rising cases. 516,144. Illinois, 431,308. They're not that far from New York. I hope, but it's a possibility, Illinois will be the next state to surpass New York. I predicted about Cali. I predicted about Florida. I predicted about Texas. Now, Illinois may top New York. Georgia, 377,261. North Carolina, 278,410. Tennessee, 260,275. Arizona, 248,293. Wisconsin now surpassed New Jersey, 244,974. And now New Jersey has 242,790. Other states, I said I was going to do top 10, but there's some other states that are alarming too on this map, like Ohio, 221,909, Pennsylvania, 217,243. Michigan has 204,135. Missouri is about to hit that 200,000 mark with 195,844. And Alabama is on fire too with 194,892. But then you see Indiana, which is Pence's home state, at 187,665. Keep in mind, Pence is the head of the coronavirus task force. You see how that's going. All these states here, according to New York Times Map, you can subscribe for free. There you go. We have no national coordinated plan. There's no stimulus. Nancy Pelosi is doing her best to negotiate, but it's Mitch McConnell. You're helping to keep your parents safe just by doing this. Oh, thank you so much. And I saw my father today. My father came down to see me. We both wear our masks around each other. We don't hug each other, but I bought him some coffee. He bought me stuff down, and I had to send him back some disinfectants. He was like, why was I going to go back with that stuff? Because to clean your house. And I know how my father is. My father is a clean freak like me. I'm going to sanitize my house. I try to do it every week. I sanitize my doorknobs every other day because I live alone. But my father meets me downstairs and we talk. We don't hug each other. We don't embrace. He misses hugging me and I miss hugging him. I even got a COVID test today. I got to make sure. I pray that my results come back well. I haven't been around a whole bunch of people, but I do go downtown. I have rode the train like a couple times, not daily, but every other week I ride the train. But I mostly walk downtown because I do live in New York City. And the distance I walk is pretty manageable, but you never know. Because this virus, you learn every day. But this is important. This is extremely important. And to people that's watching, I got some people that's watching that has platforms like Queen Lion. Please follow her. She has a nice voice, by the way. I like it. Because you made a lot of sense today. And the first time I hear your voice, and always thank you for always just, supporting. But please follow her because her voice is nice. And she has something substantive to say. And I like it. And to all the other people that's watching, if you got platforms, I am willing to support them. I'm willing to watch. I'm willing to listen because now Twitter got the voice thing. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. So here you are. But this virus is out of control. Thanksgiving is coming up. Christmas is coming up. Dr. Fauci is like, you're not sure if you could gather around your family, even though it's only like, 4 people in my immediate family and only my other sister who is just recovered from a very crazy surgery. Just is only the one that's living with them. My eldest sister is married, so this is my middle sister. I'm the baby. So I haven't seen my family in months. I've been trying to keep my goddamn distance. We all been informed about coronavirus, and I've been telling my mom about the coronavirus. We all been talking, and so, we are all aware. Oh, I was just talking about the coronavirus. I was just talking about the numbers of numbers we have. The country's at 9.2, and a couple of states are leading up to the million trajectory, like Texas and California. It probably will have 1 million cases by the end of this month. Gee, God. And Donald Trump has no national coordinated response. That is exactly why we need to vote his ass out. This election is serious. Every election is important to me because I've been voting since I was 18 years old. And my first election I remember was Kerry versus Bush. And I guess what messed up Kerry, he was not a strong enough candidate. but he was also a candidate that supported LGBTQ rights. And of course, you know that irked the evangelicals. So there you have it. Like I said, Republicans are good at messaging. I don't like their policies, but they are good messengers, and that's something that Democrats are going to have to harness. And thank God we got a new wave of Democrats. We got a new wave, but they need to work on their delivery as well. And they need to sometimes be patient when it comes to policies as well. Oh yeah, I just basically talked about the coronavirus. I talked about I talked about the coronavirus. But it's time to vote Donald Trump out. I was born and raised in New York, and I still live here. Donald Trump has pissed every New York business person the hell off. Like, badly. We always knew about his finances. He always filed for bankruptcy. He was never a friend of black people. His office, keep in mind, is on 57th and 5th. Harlem is what, about 20 minutes away? 20 minutes away. Away from, and I grew up not too far from Donald Trump's office. So the fact is that he is so concerned about black people, it's bullshit. If you were that concerned about black people, you would have done something about drugs. You would have had a meeting with Ed Koch, the mayor then, and you didn't. There was a riot going on in 1991, and you didn't. He might fire Dr. Fauci, and if he does, it's another Saturday Night Massacre waiting to happen. He's going to fuck himself over in the ass. He's already fucking himself in the ass. And trust me, nobody's not doing it but him. Nobody. And he won because of misogyny. Let's get that straight. He has black fans because he probably, you know what it is? Some of these people are uninformed, and he probably speaks to them because Donald Trump is so ignorant. Some of these black fans are just ignorant with him. I'm going to keep it real. See, I grew up in the hood, but I'm smart. I have education. I went to school. I went to college. I am in grad school right now. Like, I got education. I am well informed. Donald Trump, on the other hand, never informed. This Todd Tracy dude is about to get blocked. So he's going to get embarrassed. I went to college. I am in grad school right now. Like, I got education. I am well informed. Donald Trump, on the other hand. See what happens when you are a stupid motherfucker? When you try to be a troll and think you're not going to get blocked, you're going to get blocked. And if you're a rapper that idolize him, listen, I'm not even going to get into them because that's a whole nother segment. I'm not even trying to focus on that deterrent because I do have on my thing, it says the deterrents. But back to what I was saying before I was really interrupted by trolls. Donald Trump never cared about the black community. That's where I was summing up to. He didn't give a shit then. Why would he give a shit now? It's all about him. It is about him, and it's about his self-glory. His children are a piece of shit too. He didn't raise his kids, but they all kissed his ass because he gave them a job because that's the only job that they had. If they worked anywhere else, and there's a lot of big firms here in New York, they would have been fired for just opening up their mouth. As I was saying to my dad, when he was on the phone, he said that New York dirty mouth. Yes, because Donald Trump is from New York. Donald Trump is not from no small hick town. Donald Trump is from Queens, New York. Donald Trump is from a nice, beautiful neighborhood in Queens. Like if you get off the R train, you're not too far from where he grew up at. Exactly. They're so blinded. So blinded. So blinded. Like the real New Yorkers, like me and a couple other folks, like John Leguizamo was on TV. He was like, we all know what he did with his casinos. We all know he was an informant for the FBI. We all know he did some dealings with the Gambino family. The Gambino family is popular. John Gambino, I don't fuck with them. Ooh. Like, this man did so much crooked shit. Crooked shit. He did crooked shit with other businesses. He recently did some other crooked shit before he invaded into the White House. He was supposed to work on some building uptown, I think on Sedgwick Avenue, and was this guy, but he backed out of it. And so what happened was people had to end up moving out the building anyway. Donald Trump is a lying bitch. He posted, it was supposed to be some also another affordable housing thing on Manhattan Avenue, is uptown on 118th Street and Manhattan Avenue in Harlem. And he had people that talk with my family, and they took my family's money. I never shared this, but they took my family's money. They took my parents $1,400. So there you have it. Donald Trump is a whole ass crook. That's why anything that comes out of him, I always knew he was a liar. He was never nothing to praise. He never was around his children. And my school was not too far from his office. Like now, I live on the Upper West Side. I am not too far from where he lived at. Donald Trump is full of shit. That's why I was against him then. Back in the day, I was against him when he ran for residency because it's not a presidency, and I'm against him now. I was always a Kamala stan. I was diehard for Kamala. Thank you. I was diehard for Kamala. I was a Kamala stan. Even though I had so much respect for the vice president, Joe Biden was a good vice president to the first African American president, but I just didn't want to see him nor Bernie run. I felt like this season, I felt like they should have gave people a chance. But Joe Biden made the right decision, which I knew it once Kamala was the only one that can clinch that nomination away. Once she dropped out, I knew Joe Biden was going to be the nominee because it was no way if Kamala was not the nominee, Elizabeth Warren damn sure wasn't going to be the nominee, nor Amy Klobuchar, and definitely not Tulsi Gabbard or Marianne Wilson. I don't know why he got a Hollywood star. He didn't deserve that shit. Donald Trump is a whole entire bum. He always been a bum. And that's what trips me out. And I'm just like, this man has always been like, New Yorkers know he is a bum. The man don't use correct vocabulary, correct grammar. He's just a loser. And that's what I always wanted to say. Oh, Oakland is, I never been to the Bay, but I always want to fly across country to California. Yeah, Joe is kind of like a wingman. Joe got swag. Joe and Kamala are like the swagged out pair. I could not imagine him without anyone. Those two, I like those two together. They are a good pair. And Joe Biden is going to make sure that she will become the most successful leader that she can be, even though she's successful on her own. But the fact that those two are like molding each other is just so amazing. I love it. And I always knew he was going to pick her. I know he wasn't going to pick no damn Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren insulted his ass during the campaign. Bernie was too old, even though Bernie is going to serve in the cabinet. Like I tell people, I am not a big fan of his platform, but as a person, Bernie is at least a decent person when it comes to Joe Biden. And they're friends. They're like the best of friends. Like it's like two old men. You ever saw two grumpy men? That's who they are. And so Bernie is going to be in the cabinet because Bernie is working hard behind the scenes when it comes to like the policies, the climate change policy, the what is it, the education policies. Bernie's job will definitely be Secretary of Labor. That's the only that or what is it? Secretary of Education. But Secretary of Labor is more suitable for Bernie because Bernie always talking about $15 minimum wage. You need a $15 minimum wage. That's the best position for him. Pete Buttigieg, UN ambassador, because he's so worldly and he's so sophisticated. Amy Klobuchar might have a job there. Elizabeth Warren's going to have a job. Andrew Yang going to have a job. And Beto's going to have a job. And Stacey Abrams are going to have a job. Those I know are going to have a job in the administration. Everybody's talking about the attorney general. And everybody's talking about my governor, Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo hates Washington. He can't stand it. He said when he was elected governor, he was going to be our governor. And we don't want him going. We don't want him and North Trish going nowhere. They need to be here. Trish needs to put Wayne LaPierre and the Trump family in jail. And Governor Cuomo needs to govern our state. And I hope he runs another term. I really do. Because New York, we need him. We need them. We need them here in New York. We don't need them in Washington. We want them here. Who can be the next AG? Sally Yates. Let her finish what she started with Michael Flynn. She's going to get all of them, and she probably will get barred too. I hope she does. I hope she gets half of those people. Because she was onto something, and he fired her. And Paul, I love to hear Pete. If Kamala was the presidential nominee, Pete would have been the best vice president to her. And if it wasn't Pete, if this person was alive, he would have served as the best vice president to Kamala. And that there would have been Bo. Bo had a future. It sucks that the way he died was just so sad because he was a rising star in the Democratic Party. And the way he died, like that ruined Joe Biden. And to this day, when he talks about it, it hurts him. He's so used to saying boys. Now he's just saying Hunt, Ashley. Because he only got 2 kids left. I just said about Andrew Yang. I said Andrew Yang could be the Secretary of Commerce. He knows money. He knows math. I listed the ones who are definitely going to have a job in this administration. I said Bernie, Warren, Stacey Abrams, Beto O'Rourke, possibly Amy Klobuchar, and Andrew Yang. And I think I said Pete Buttigieg already. And Julian Castro. I forgot about Julian. Julian's going to have a job too. Julian might be the Secretary of Homeland Security or his old job of HUD because shit is fucked up. Ben Carson fucked up his whole entire shit. It's okay. It's fine. Oh, yeah, my governor and Chris. Yeah, because they're brothers. They look so much alike. Like, one almost looked like Mario. And I'm assuming that's Andrew Cuomo was almost looking like his father. Like, ridiculous. That's crazy. But, yeah, my governor, nope. My governor said, hell no. Hell no to fucking Washington. But as of AG, oh, that's Sally Yates all the way. I feel like it should be a career lawyer, like a career DOJ person. And Sally Yates is the best of the best. She was the best deputy to Loretta Lynch. Now, in terms of the Supreme Court nominee, y'all know the Supreme Court is now conservative majority. Once Biden does get in there, God willing, Biden and Kamala, Biden said he's going to have a commission to see possibly of expanding the courts. He might expand that shit to 12. I feel like he should expand that shit to 15, but maybe 12 is possible, doable. And if so, the black woman who belongs on that Supreme Court should be Loretta Lynch. Even though she's not a judge, but she was one hell of a lawyer. And a good AG too at that. But they are going to pick somebody who's going to be a judge. Maybe he's going to be the lady also that was denied to sit on the fucking the same seat that Amy Coney Barrett once had. She might be the next Supreme Court justice. And who's to say that Clarence Thomas, hopefully he retires or something may happen? Who knows? The Trumps are just disgusting. They're New York's trash bag, along with Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani is New York trash bag. Excuse me, and he is. They're both trash. But enough of those Trumps. Now, with this election, as optimistic as I am, I do have some anxiety, and there's deterrents. There's a whole bunch of deterrents out there suppressing the vote. And I just want to let you guys know, if you guys voted, kudos to you. For those who did not vote, I'm just going to say this. Do not be discouraged. Don't be dismayed. Go and vote. Stand on that line. Bring your snacks with you. Bring some fruit snacks or bring some water with you. If you got to go to the store, whether you drive it to a convenience store or for the New Yorkers, if you got to walk to the corner store, go to the corner store and get you some snacks. Get you some sour pouches. Get you some potato chips. Get you some water and stand on that line. Because everything is on the line. 5 crises. You got the global pandemic resulting into a financial recession. 31 million people are unemployed, and I'm one of them. You have climate change. Today in New York, it is cold. It's like 42 in early November. That's crazy. And the rest of this week is supposed to be in the 60s. That's 20 degrees higher than what it was. That's not good. It's rising sea levels on the eastern borderline, wildfires on the west, crazy hurricanes in the south, and tornadoes in the Midwest. And snow, early snow. That's insane. And then you have racial reckoning. There's still injustices. People are still not tried for murder. Look at what happened with Kenneth Walker. Like, he's being sued for sued by the cop because of emotional distress. And the Bull Connor in blackface, aka George Wallace, aka Daniel Cameron, refused to charge those cops. He felt like it was nothing wrong. He's that pro-Trump law enforcement. He's the good boy. The good boy, as they say. So I don't want to say the N-word, because it may turn some folks off. But yeah. And then now, a constitutional crisis. That's the 5th one. Amy Coney Barrett sitting on a court which is conservative, 6-3 majority. And she'll be the deciding vote. And she already sounds shaky as shit with questions. And Donald Trump may possibly sue the Biden campaign. So we have all of this out. And yet, he needs to be fired. Like I said, if Mitch McConnell loses tomorrow, Daniel Cameron's ass is in trouble. His job is already on the line. He's already done. After this whole thing with Breonna Taylor, he ain't going to live to see another day. Oh, it's so much of that, and I'm in Georgia. Wow. And I pray for your state, because I have cousins from South Carolina that lives in Georgia now. And I'm probably sure they probably early voted, or they're voting tomorrow. And I pray that you guys get some decent senators, because y'all got shitty senators right now. And Reverend Warnock is good, and also John Ossoff. If John Ossoff is in there, he'll be the youngest senator elected in a long time. Well, actually, the youngest senator serving in the Senate right now. The youngest senator to ever be probably elected was Joe Biden, obviously. But he will be the youngest senator serving. He's younger than Josh Hawley. Yeah, I pray for y'all safety down south. I pray. Even though I live up north, I live in New York, but after that fucking shit that on the bridge in Westchester, what they fucking tried to do, I hope the people, because my sister lives in Westchester, I hope she voted, or I hope she's going to go early voting, or we go voting tomorrow, because they're motherfucking crazy up in Westchester. See, in the city, they're not really that crazy, only on Staten Island because they're a bunch of losers. But if you go like past the Bronx, you got Westchester. We got Yonkers and Westchester, and Westchester County, they're fucking deterrents and they're fucking racist. Yeah, it's crazy. And in New Jersey, like, yo, like people like, oh, blue states are fine. You got some Republicans in blue states that are trying to be deterrent jackasses. And I heard about what happened in Texas. That was crazy too. Like, these races are emboldened. Like, upstate New York is mostly red. The downstate of New York is blue, because downstate, it's 9 million people in my city. Like, I'm the largest global city, the number one economy in the world that makes up the state's economy. So, of course, everybody in New York is liberal mostly, roughly. But you got upstate jackasses that are determined. And then you got some people in the city that don't want to turn out. But I guess everybody in the hood going to come out their motherfucking house somehow. Where the voting ballot at? Where you put the ballot at? That's why I avoid that. That's why I went early voting, because of that shit. Oh, wow. I mean, well, Delaware is cheaper to live in Delaware and Maryland. Delaware is cheap. And people that live in Delaware, they work in New Jersey or they work in New York City or Connecticut. Because my city is expensive. I mean, I hope you lucky to get an apartment. But Delaware is cheap. It's cheap, 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 cheap. Delaware is cheaper than Georgia almost, from what I'm hearing. Because there was a couple that lived in Georgia. Now they lived in Delaware. And like I said, people in Delaware, they work in New York City or they work in like northern New Jersey. But there's so many deterrents out here. There's so many. And we cannot think like that. We got to be positive. We got to be positive. Like my father just got off the phone with me. You got to be positive. You got to be positive. We got to pray about it. Pray on my child, as the old folks say. Because if old folks is showing up, and if these young people are showing up that never voted or did not vote in 2016, you know this shit is real. And I guess what messed up the election in 2016, black people in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin did not go out and vote. People in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and California, we are the most expensive states, but we show up and fucking vote. Well, most of us in the city do. And we have to be positive. We can't let the Tariq Nasheeds of the world and his FBA movement and all these ADOS motherfuckers and these MAGA trolls suppress us. All these rappers. We have to vote. Everything is on the line. We must be vigilant. We have to be encouraged. We have to believe in whatever universe, whatever person you worship to, believe in that, because that's going to make the change. And trust me, this is not the end. You can call your local officials to set up town halls and meetings. You can write to them. You can call them. You can email them. And now everything is virtual. Like, I get a lot of emails from my Congressman Ed Spiat. He emails the shit out of people, but he does a lot for the district. He's not a person to do public appearances here and there, but he does a lot of online stuff. And trust me, we're going to press the city council in my city. Like, shit is going to be real. Like, Now people see what local elections, they matter. They matter. And it's important. And if you don't vote every election, then there's something wrong. Then, like David Letterman said also, you have no stock. You have nothing to say. There was a video circulating that Kanye West never voted, but he wants to run for president. He's a deterrent. That's why you got to beware the disinformation. Do the research. Do the work. That's one thing I give about the K-Hive. We do the research and we do the work. And if it wasn't for people like Reese, Black Woman Views, I suggest that you follow her. Kenny Too Raw Too Real. Drew Comments. Maya Contreras. Sydney A. Queen Lion on here. Myself. Tanisha. I forgot what her screen name is. Delante. All of the K-Hive. Sassy Tiff. Everybody in the K-Hive. Follow us. We'll give a civic lesson if we have to. My Twitter is the same thing as my Periscope. I am Shantizi. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Instagram, I post stuff here and there. I used to do it a lot, but now, like, since it's restreamed, I do this daily, and I do live on Instagram on Friday. I'll post little videos here and there, but I got pastors following me, and they talk too much. But please follow us. Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. Nice. Because we're open to answer questions, and they're awesome. They have embraced me, and I appreciate them. Maybe my videos may come up a little vulgar sometimes, because yesterday my video was a little vulgar yesterday because of ADOS trying to deter me. That's why I'm saying deterrence is crazy. What time tomorrow for what in particular? And I drink coffee every day. I have to have my Starbucks every day. But it's important that we be vigilant and be smart, and just and not lose faith. Like, let's keep the faith. As Joe Biden said, keep the faith and spread the faith. Because all things, Romans 8:28, all things can be done, if I'm quoting it correctly, in Christ. And I'll just leave that to you. I probably will come on tomorrow a little later with the coverage, but I will be watching TV now, MSNBC or CNN, and I'll be watching some live streams, some Roland Martin Unfiltered, or, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, what time I'll be live on Periscope? Maybe like around 11-ish. Hopefully we get some news around that time, but I'll be live with the post coverage, because I'll be watching the coverage, on my television screen. Make sure I might buy some wine, like a little thing of wine, because I probably need some. But let's do this, folks. If you didn't vote, go vote tomorrow. Do not walk off the damn line. And also don't wear your campaign shirts neither. But don't walk off the line. Oh, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. And thank you for always watching. I appreciate you. And thank you for people that's watching and that subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate it, because I always talked about politics for a very, very, very long time, but I never did it like on a platform, because, I don't know how people will be receptive of it, but I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. So thank you. And I will be doing this after the election. This ain't over, to the fat lady say. Until I'm over, which they ain't gonna happen. And we're not claiming that in the name of Jesus. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. And you have a good night. And vote. Don't be dismayed.